Hey everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world. I figured this was an appropriate setting for today's video. Today, as promised, I want to talk to you about my health and change my diet, what I did, how I did it, and how it's affected me. And I'll start out with the bad. In the past few years, I started getting these random sporadic swelling, like my ankle would swell up and be massive, or my knee would blow out. And it was one knee, and then it was another knee, and this one still grinds a little. It's taking some time, but it's not so bad. You'll often notice when I kneel down, I'm kneeling on my right leg with my left one at a 90-degree angle, because I can't quite yet bend it. And then my elbow blew out, and then another ankle, and then my fingers would go bad, my knuckles, and the last one was my wrist. And the agony of that was equivalent to a freshly broken bone that never goes away. It feels like a freshly broken bone day and night for days and days. It was between 5 and 7 days of endless agonizing pain. There's no rest, there's no comfortable position. And I learned I had gout. And through the years, it's been a few years, I was getting it at random, and it started getting worse and worse the past few years. So that's the background. This last time, the pain was so bad, so intense, and so unending. I mean, it felt just like a freshly broken bone. Just unbelievable. That was enough to drive me to change my diet. And well, that was a couple months ago now, I guess, since I've changed my diet. I cut sugar entirely. From when I realized what it was, when I was in the middle of that agony, I cut sugar. And I've also cut all processed foods and artificial chemicals and ingredients. Now, there's a couple steps to this video. It's going to take me a few minutes to get through this, because some people are going to ask, well, how did you do it? And others are going to ask about the diet. And I want to first tell you, to give encouragement, how I feel. Well, it's just 12:30 in the afternoon, and I've just brought home 4 face cord of firewood from 8:30 to 12:30 with 2 hours of driving time. So I am stronger physically than I have been on this new diet after cutting sugar than I have been since I was about 20 years old. So I feel equivalent to to how I was at 20 years old. I'm able to do the work that I did when I was 20. That is a big deal. So today I loaded a truck and trailer in 30 minutes. And this is no joke. This stuff is heavy. I mean, this stuff is freshly cut and split. And these are big slabs. Some of these are pretty heavy. And it's something I probably would not have been able to pick up a couple months ago. I'm able to load now. I've got my time down to 15 minutes of loading, and only 10 minutes unloading. And that to me is an absolute miracle compared to the condition I was in a while ago, for years. So I was very, very impressed with that ability today, and that is what made me decide to make this video today. When Chris and I started out 2 years ago, we were going to do firewood. It took us an entire 16-hour day for 2 people, and we looked like zombie firewood men, because we were a mess. 2 people took 16 hours to haul in 3 face cord, and that was miserable. That was brutal. So to give you a comparison, I've done it with driving time in 4 hours flat, 4 face cord, including 2 hours of driving, alone. And I've still got the whole day ahead of me. And that is really all because of my diet. Now, a lot of people are going to ask me about how. The pain I suffered was enough to make me quit. I'll tell you what. I don't want anything. Candy bars, donuts, sweetened cereal, granola bars, sugar in my coffee. I don't want anything. I don't want anything at all anymore. The desire is gone. And I'll get to withdrawal in a few minutes because that's brutal. For me, the pain was my driving force to quit sugar. But a lot of people are going to go through other situations, other issues. Find a healthy substitute. Something like carrots or something. Find something that every time you get a craving for sugar, substitute it with something nice. A piece of fruit or an apple. And I'll get into diet in a minute. But find something to substitute because a lot of it is going to be mental cravings and just that desire to have sweets. You're going to go to the store and you're going to see something like a donut, which I like the donuts. Anyway, you're going to see something and you're going to desire it. Well, then you've got to substitute for something and get over that mental thing by substituting. A lot of people are not very strong mentally and have to have a substitute. So that's going to be key for people. But you've got to find something to help you break it. If you're unhappy with your body, look in the mirror every time you have a craving. I thought for a while there I was going to have to get a bra, and that really was disturbing me. And that I didn't want that. And that I had wanted to quit sugar for a while, but I didn't have the strength and the willpower to overcome until I went through that agonizing pain. Now, with quitting sugar, there is a mental clarity like you wouldn't believe. I can't even explain the difference from the cloudy, foggy-headed feeling I've gone through for the last 20, 30 years to the clarity I have now. It's just, there's no words to explain it, but the mental clarity is just amazing. The ability to get through a day without just... I used to get up in the morning and be so tired I would long for bed. And no matter, even if I was on exciting outings and fun trips with friends, I just couldn't think about anything but going to bed. I did not enjoy a lot of things. I didn't enjoy a bunch of activities. I just was so tired, all I wanted to do was go home and go to bed or take a nap. Now, when I'm done at the end of the day, physically and mentally, when it's just before it's bedtime, I feel fresh and fit as I did when I got up in the morning. Physically, I mean, I'm throwing firewood fast now, and physically I feel as fresh and fit at night as I did when I got up in the morning. And for comparison, just a year or two ago, when I handled one face cord of firewood in a day, I'd be laying on the couch saying, "Oh, Melanie, it hurts. Everything hurts." And I thought this is how life was going to be as you started aging. I thought this is part of life, this is part of aging, and this is going to be the new norm, living in agonizing pain. I really thought, is this it? I mean, is this how it is, how it has to be? But no. I have to force myself to quit working at the end of the day because I feel like I could go on. And that is an absolute miracle. So we covered the why, we've covered the how, and now I'll cover the diet. And we've covered the affects how I feel now, and I will cover the diet. I'm not a diet expert. Seek professional help for your own self on what you should do and what you should eat. But basically what I did, I looked at the gout diet, all right? I saw that red meats, game meats, organ meats, of course sugars. The diet I looked at didn't mention salt, and I was when I started this, I was sweating a lot, so I took in a lot of salt. Anything processed was off limits. And there was, again, I don't want to go into diet as much because there's professionals out there that can tell you what you should have. But I got rid of all that. And also I think tuna and salmon were off limits, if I remember right. I could eat certain fish like, I think sardines were okay. I think herring was not okay. I think salmon might have been. It's been a while. That's why I suggest you go and find out. Because after the worst of the pain was gone, and after I broke through the withdrawal phase, which I'll get to, I started adding in stuff like hamburgers and red meats. And now, at this point now, I pretty much eat anything put in front of me as long as it doesn't have sugar. I'm talking, I won't have ketchup. I won't have mayonnaise with sugar. I won't have a granola bar. Even those healthy, organic, natural granola bars have some form of processed sugar. I won't do it. I haven't even touched honey since I went on the diet. I'll probably go back to occasional honey, but I'm staying away for it until the grinding is gone on my knee. And it's been a couple months. It's getting better. But I'm going to stay away from all forms of sugar and refined sweets. So you got to read your packages. There's sugar in a lot of stuff. So I was reading labels. Like a can of sardines might actually have sugar in it. I was sickened at some of the chemicals. I thought, like for example, milk products are okay. But I was eating cottage cheese, and then I looked at the ingredients one day, and I was horrified to find out how much artificial junk is in cottage cheese. I had no idea that I was poisoning myself and never even knew it. Because I was reading labels for the most part, but cottage cheese, I mean, it's milk and it's curdled milk. What could be added in it? I never read the labels on cottage cheese. That stuff's nasty. You got to get organics if you want to eat anything good. Like, I eat yogurt, but it's plain white organic yogurt now. So I've got rid of the chemicals, the flavors, the preservatives, things I can't read, things I don't know. If it's not from nature, I'm not eating it. So I also quit all chemicals and artificial and processed ingredients because I wanted to do a full purge. Now, these days, I'll eat rice, beans, carrots, vegetables, fruits. Fruits are good. Fruits are good. It has natural sugars with the full supporting nutrients and minerals and fibers in it. So fruits are good. And I eat a lot of fruits now too, and I have throughout the diet. But now I'm back to eating any meats, whatever. It doesn't matter now because I'm over the worst of it, and sugar being the worst cause of it all. Now I can eat pretty much any normal foods, but stay away from the processed, stay away from the chemicals, and stay away from the sugar. That's what I'm going to avoid. That's the biggest deal. And half and half. I love half and half, but I'm not using it anymore because it's got preservatives. So just really read your ingredients and watch out for what you're eating and putting in yourself, and try to get all natural foods until you're purged from the gout. And then you can start adding in a little bit. Don't go overboard and go back to your old ways or you'll get sick again. But that was that. That's how I got over and how I went through and how I changed my diet. The withdrawal. The withdrawal was almost harder than anything else. It wasn't craving for sugar. Although I dream about it. It's funny. I don't dream that I'm craving sugar. When I'm in the stores, I don't crave sugar. I see it and I'm like, ugh. But I dream at night that I've slipped and I've eaten something sweet. It's really weird. I still dream about it. It's very weird. So that stuff is in your brain, deeply in your brain. That might take more months to get out. But when I first started purging myself, you guys will notice I vanished again off YouTube for a while, and I was an absolute mess. I got sick. That stuff is poison. And when you're withdrawing from a substance, an addictive substance, and sugar is an addictive substance, the body goes through some horrible, horrible problems. I got sick. I didn't know if I was going to make it through. At times I thought about just having sugar to stop the suffering. Worse brain fog, worse weakness, worse aches and pains, worse lethargy. The lethargy, I had no ability. I would sit in the chair and desire to get up and do something, and I couldn't do it. It was horrible. I can't even explain it well enough, but just say the withdrawal is hard, but the end goal is worth it all. I cannot believe the mental clarity and the physical endurance I have now after cutting out sugar and processed foods and chemicals. I'll occasionally have something with a preservative. Like I had dried fruits today for breakfast and it had a preservative. I don't like it. I don't want it. But instead of going to the store to grab something else, it's what I had. Speaking of, let me touch on diet a little bit more. For my breakfast, I've been eating bananas and oranges, apples, and I don't want to get into certain particular things, but let's just say there are a couple cereals out there that have nothing added. There's like wheat and water, and that's it. And there's just a couple things that you're able to have, and I would have that with plain milk. And it's a boring meal, but it's worth it in the end. It's very much worth it. So I'm still having a lot of fruits and plain flavorless breakfast cereals to get me started on the day. But definitely, normally after breakfast I would feel weak and sick, lethargic, and need another coffee to get through, to start my day. And now I'm ready to run. Today I had my breakfast in the truck on the road because I want to go, get as much done in the day as I can, just keep going. So, without dragging on too much, I think I've covered everything. I'll be happy to hear from you in the comments, and if you're going through struggles, feel free to drop me a line, and if you got questions how I made it or any details about anything I've said, I'll be happy to answer. So please like this video and subscribe if you haven't, because you never know what's going on tomorrow. I think it's going to be firewood. You just never know. Talk to you later.